Good morning, everybody. Rob here in Bakersfield, California, on the Softail Bar Hopper, and welcome to this week's episode of Throwback Thursday. This one is titled The Hot Tub and the Lawyer. Now, I was working day watch out of Central Division. It was around lunchtime, and I get a radio call of a possible 261, which is a rape in progress, and contact the RP, the reporting person, a couple houses down. So I get on scene, along with a sergeant and a couple of backup officers, and we got the reporting person standing out there. It's a woman out in the yard, and so she comes over and explains to us that, points out this house and says that there's a husband and wife live there in the house, and that's the wife's car parked in the driveway, that she must come home for lunch, and that she could hear a woman screaming and yelling from the backyard area. So we go down to check it out and see what's going on, and sure enough, as we get closer to the house, we can hear a woman screaming. So I go to the front of the house, and I'm looking through the front window, through the house, out the back windows, and out on the patio. I see this woman in the hot tub, standing up, and she's got her hands tied with a rope, and the rope is strung up above a beam of the patio cover, so she's hanging there with her hands up above her head, standing in the hot tub, waist deep, naked, screaming. Well, we're trying to decide, okay, what are we going to do? Front door's locked, can't get in. I'm thinking, okay, I could kick the front door in, but then all of a sudden two big giant German Shepherds show up at the front door, start barking like crazy. One of the other officers decides, well, he can go get up on the block wall, jump up on the roof, go in the back and drop down and rescue her and get the suspect. So while we're all figuring this out, he runs over, jumps up on the roof, and the dogs are barking like crazy. Well, the woman and I make eye contact, and all of a sudden she stops screaming. She's wiggling around, all of a sudden this head pops up from under the water. Some guy down there scuba diving, I guess. Well, he turns and looks and sees me. He reaches up and unties her. She gets out of the hot tub, runs over and grabs a towel, wraps it around her, brings the towel over to him, and he gets out of the hot tub and wraps it around him, and I'm motioning for them to come here, come to the front door. So she stays out there on the patio. He comes in, comes to the front door. He doesn't open the front door though. He stands on the other side of the locked door, yelling at me, "What am I doing there? What do I want?" Blah, 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 all pissed off. So I tell him, well, hey, we got a call of a rape in progress. I'm here to make sure the woman's all right. And he's going on, well, he lives there. And I said, well, okay, if you live here, then show me some proof that you live here, and I want to talk to the woman, make sure she's all right, everything's okay. Well, he's arguing with me, giving a bunch of crap. Well, it's his house, private property. I can't come in. He doesn't have to show me any ID. And he's a lawyer and all this crap. And I tell him, okay, well, if you're a lawyer, then you know that I'm called here on a possible felony in progress. I can't just walk away and take your word for it. Now, open the door, show me some ID that proves that you live here, and let me talk to the woman. Well, he keeps arguing with me. Tells me that I don't get out of there, he's going to turn the dogs loose on me. And I say, well, if you turn the dogs loose on me, then I'm going to have to shoot both your damn dogs, and then I'm going to kick your ass and take you into custody. Well, the guy on the roof gets back there. He doesn't want to drop down from the roof now because he's worried the dogs come out and get him, so he's yelling down to her, is everything okay? And she's saying yes. Well, she goes over and gets a bathrobe on, And the other officer tells her, well, you got to go to the front door and talk to the officer there, which is me. Let him know you're okay, that everything's fine. Because we can't just leave. Well, she comes in the house. The lawyer finally quits arguing with me and goes and gets some mail and his ID to prove that, he lives there. It's his house. And I get to talk to the woman, and she says she's okay. He's not raping her. They were just, having some fun and fooling around. She doesn't live there, though. She is apparently his secretary, or sexetary, I guess you'd call it. And he shows me his ID and some mail proving that he lives there. And he's all pissed off. He's going to file a complaint against me for threatening to kill his dogs. And I tell him, okay, that's fine. You want to file a complaint? My sergeant's standing right here. You can file a complaint with him. But you go filing the complaint, and that news crew that showed up right out there, I'm going to go tell them exactly what happened. And this is going to be all over the news. And then instead of having to explain it in court, you're going to have to explain it to your wife. So, anyways, thank you. I walk off, leave him there yelling, he's going to file a complaint. My sergeant goes to talk to him, see if he really wants to file a complaint or not. I walk out, and the reporting person, she's out there because she's all worried, wanting to know what's going on. And the news crew's standing there, of course, listening to all this. So I tell the lady that called in, I said, okay, it's not the woman who lives there. Apparently, her husband borrowed her car for the day, and he brought his secretary home for lunch, and they were just having a little extracurricular activity out back. And that's about all I could tell her. But that nobody was getting raped, it was all consensual, everything's fine. No crime committed. So she goes storming off saying, well, she's going to tell his wife when she gets home. I go, that's fine. So then the news comes over and wants the story. And I tell them, well, I can't give you an interview. You got to go through our media liaison officer downtown. But we're not filing any report on it. Nobody's getting arrested. The guy in the house he might file a complaint against me because he's pissed off because I interrupted what he was doing. And I demanded to see proof of residency there. And then he threatened to turn his dogs loose on me, and I told him I'd have to shoot and kill the dogs if he did. So that's all I can tell you. You want anything more? Contact downtown, but they're not going to have anything more for you because there's no reports being filed. I said, if you want, you can go knock on the guy's front door, ask him for a story. So all of us went back over to the car, and the sergeant came back over and said the guy decided he's not going to file a complaint. Well, the news crew goes over, and they're knocking on his door, trying to get him to answer the door because they want to get a story of what the heck's going on, and he won't answer the door, and he's yelling at him to get out of there and get lost. Anyways, that's just kind of a cautionary tale. If you're going to bring home somebody at lunch to be fooling around, maybe you ought to do it somewhere else other than your house and not be driving your wife's car. And if the guy hadn't taken attitude and started arguing with me in the first place, all he had to do was show me some damn ID that he lived there, and let me talk to the woman and make sure she wasn't kidnapped and being raped. It would have taken about 5 minutes and we'd all been gone. But no, he drug it out into a 10-15 minute long argument, threatening to have my job and sue me and all kinds of other crap. So anyways, that's my story. It was kind of interesting. because you never know what you got. You know, at first glance it kind of looked like, maybe based on what the neighborhood said, that we had the wife was tied up out in back, naked, hanging in the jacuzzi. Who knows what the heck he was doing. I mean, once the guy's head popped up from underwater, I knew what was going on then, as far as that part's concerned, but I still didn't know if it was all legit. You know, could have been some rapist. And then when he claimed that he lived there and wouldn't show me any ID to prove so, then that made me even more suspicious. But that's the kind of crap you have to put up with on a daily basis, I guess. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed my little story. It's too bad we didn't wear body cams back in those days. That would have been a good one for YouTube. Half-naked woman hanging from the rafters of the patio in the jacuzzi. Oh yeah. Okay, well, I'm out of here. You all have a good week, and I'll see you next Thursday. Hope you enjoyed my story. If you did, hit the like button, give me some comments, and come back next Thursday. Bye-bye.